time. Good. Okay. So I was saying, you sold everything you owned to travel the world. Like, how did you get started, and how the hell do you sell everything you own? It's hard enough for me to get rid of like one thing at a time. I made a video on minimalism where I talk about strategies and getting rid of one or two things, but here you are selling everything you own. So cool. Nice. Okay, awesome. Well, I could talk all day about getting rid of stuff because I think that's fascinating. But also, could you go into your motivation? Like, what made you finally make the like, all right, screw it, I'm going to do it, and just kind of go all out and get yeah. So what made you decide? That's pretty amazing. Oh, by the way, I just have to say I went to IU, Indiana, so that's cool. I didn't know you're from Indiana. I'm going to be visiting in a couple weeks. But anyway, not to get sidetracked. No, it's a really amazing story. And I think that a lot of us can identify with like going to work and just, I've been there myself, like, what am I doing here? Like, there's like a million and one other better, more exciting, more fulfilling things I could be doing with my time. So you probably had one of those, I'm sure probably several of those moments as well, I would imagine. All right, yeah, cool. So let's touch on those other side business, or I guess now is your full-time businesses. Maybe first, like maybe how did you get started doing those? Because you were working full-time before you quit your job. So you started all those up on the side beforehand, and I don't know, like yeah, how did you do that, and what would your advice be for someone else looking to do the same? Oh, oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, by the way, I was going to say, yeah, it's a really cool T-shirt. We'll have to link to Click Gear in the description below after when we publish this. But so it kind of starts. It grew out of maybe very in the very beginning your photography business as like a natural extension, and then you kind of just like spread out from there. Oh, okay. No, no worries. It's good that I'm recording this in QuickTime. I said that. Uh, so it started with the photography, like that's kind of how it all began, like your photography side, photography business, and then it just as a natural extension grew out of there. And you're like, oh, maybe I'll learn a little bit of this to help with my photography, and then that's kind of how you just picked it all up. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you're really lucky in that sense that you got such an early head start. But what would your advice be to someone else who doesn't have that background as you do and they're looking to get started? What would your tips or advice to them would be? Good advice. All right. And one other thing about, again, you do so many things. How do you manage, five websites, three are e-commerce, and two are informational? I know you go into this more on your own website, which we're also going to link, by the way, in the description of this video. But yeah, how do you manage it with time? How do you stay organized? Not only do you have all of that going on, but you also have your website, michaelunbroken.com, I believe. And you're making videos. You want to share your journey, which is amazing. But I mean, I work full time and I'm doing this kind of on the side as well, and I can get very easily overwhelmed. So how do you manage your time and not get too yeah, overwhelmed with that? Yeah. Wow, okay, there was a whole lot of amazing wisdom nuggets you just shared there. I'm just like still like processing all that in my brain. I think that'll be nice so people can, we got that recorded so people can go back and like listen to everything. I also heard that tip that you getting the most important thing done in the beginning of the day. I think Jack Campbell, like from one of his books, you know, the Chicken Soup for the Soul guy mentioned that. And I think that's one of the things I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, you know, because it's easier psychologically to get like the little stuff done. Like you wake up like, oh, I'm just gonna like maybe check my emails. I'm gonna just do these little things, but it's way way better like you know workflow wise. Like you're totally right to actually tackle that first. So I just have to like force myself. And then also I want to say that it's kind of funny. You're like you get up at 5:30, and here I was. You know, we started this chat, and I was like, I'm like, oh yeah, I get up at 7:30 usually. Look at me, I'm so cool and such an early riser. You know? You're like, boom. Mm, okay, so you just have to have the discipline to just get your butt into bed early, right? Like you, I mean, there's people maybe you met I don't know if you're in a hostel or whatever, but somehow you make friends and they're like, oh, let's go out and party, and you just what? You just say no, like you just have the discipline to just or say, okay, it's 9 o'clock, gotta go, like you know. Right. Sure. Right. And I think that's fine as long as you know, you stay disciplined and you make that the exception rather than the rule. And, you know, not to just let it, but get yourself into a pattern like every single day. Um, Obviously, you don't need me to tell you that. But okay, anyway, I could keep talking forever. We're almost out of time. Are there any last, I don't know, words of wisdom or just any final comments you want to share? Amazing. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. We're going to end on that. Again, I'm going to link to all your the resources that you shared. I'll link to that in the description, as well as my digital nomad cheat sheet. As always, it's just free and has got lots of other good resources for digital nomading. And I guess we'll have to end it here. I would love to maybe have you back another time. We can talk about that because I think we have a lot more to talk about. But for now, adios and till next time. All right. Same to you. Bye.